This is so insane. Check this out. So I'm going through Ward 5 in Toronto here on Google Maps on Street View to find like every single cyclist in the thing, or find weird, just weird pictures of the crappy cycling and pedestrian situation. And one of the things I'm taking pictures of is where the areas that have been totally abandoned by everybody except for drivers. And I'm finding just an insane amount of places like this where I'm looking for I'm looking for crowded sidewalks next to half-empty 7-lane wide roads and stuff like that to take pictures. But when that type of anti-cycling and anti-pedestrian infrastructure really works and runs its course, you end up with this other type of thing, which is the other thing I'm getting pictures of, which is pedestrians notably absent, cyclists notably absent. We got one man there who's being punished big time for not driving. And I'm trying to see if any of these are different Street View images recorded at different times. So this is September 2018. I'm just going to bump up the size of everything here so I can. Yeah, there we go. So May 2016. No pedestrians. No cyclists. We got 2 construction workers, the only people crossing the road on foot. To me, this is just crazy. I mean, you got houses all over the place. You got a school right there, I think. You got like institutional buildings and stuff. And this is what I found all the way down this road as well, which is, I guess, Yore, which leads to Kiel. Yeah. So all along Yore and in intersections, oh boy, a lot of these intersections along Kiel, I noticed that like extreme September 2018, the total lack of any pedestrians or cyclists. Okay, we already checked out the May 2016. That's okay, September 2018, I already checked that out. Let's see what the actual, okay, so June 2018. I think we already checked that one out, but let's see. Anybody not driving here? Anybody? No? Everybody driving? Okay. Okay. April 2014. Let's see if anybody was venturing through here on foot in April of 2014. Beautiful weather. Nope. No cyclists. No pedestrians. Let's see. September 2012. At Yore and... Oh, look, it's a cyclist. Oh my god. Dude. Check this guy out, too. I love him. Say cheese, buddy. So something was going on in September of 2012 where there was actually pedestrians and an actual cyclist. But of course the cyclist wasn't on the road because that would be too sketchy. There's clearly not enough room anywhere on the roadway for any cyclists. Oh, because this lane, it's been made wide to accommodate cyclists and drivers sharing the lane. Yeah. So that's why that cyclist has to be in pedestrian space, because the lane is wide enough to accommodate them. And so, yeah, okay. I'll shut up now. So there's September 2012. Some people were actually there. Let's see about October 11-20. Oh, we got one guy. Look at that. Look at that. Oh, that poor lonely pedestrian, because it's, it's a good thing that this guy's like on his own because there's, if it was like, when you're walking next to a friend here, you gotta walk like in front of your friend. Like if you want to move through here while chatting with your friend next to you, you really do need a car because then you can sit chatting with your friend next to you, and then they can also be chatting with the driver next to them, and then they can also be chatting with the person next to them. They can be chatting with the person next to them who's waiting to turn right, and then that person who they're chatting with can be talking with that one or two pedestrians that can fit on that sidewalk. And yeah, that is the one pedestrian. That is so sad. That's so pathetic. It's like this intersection and much of this 2011, same deal. I think we actually already checked it, 2011. Yeah. No, maybe. Yeah, okay, 2011. I also wanted to see. Yeah, zero. Oh, check it out. Yeah, but in that other with that other pedestrian that I found, it's such a crazy shot because it's like one guy here and the road's empty, so it's like they've squeezed it down to that. Because we need one, two, three, four, five, six. Like what? So at the same time, like there's no street view images of the road being full of cars. It's like, oh yeah, it's half full at the intersection with, okay, that's 20 cars, great. There's not that many people even trying to drive through here. But what I'm seeing is like I don't think the design is even to move cars. Like people keep saying, "Oh, it's all based on moving cars," but if it was, the intersections would be a bit bigger than the roads that go between them. And if it was all about moving cars, like, isn't this kind of like, I don't know, getting a cable modem when all you're doing is checking email? Back in the 90s, when cable modems were expensive and you're like, should I switch to cable or should I stay with just dial-up? Like, well, I am going to do a lot of downloading, but my mom, she's just checking her email, that's it. So maybe she can just save the money for now. That's what this is like. I mean, oh wow, look, it's right busy right now in this one little spot, and then that's pretty much 1/3 full, 2/3 extra capacity with super narrow sidewalks, and this is all almost empty over there, almost empty back there. Oh, look, there's one lineup of 10 cars because the intersection is super over controlled. And then this is what it's like the rest of the time. Like, oh, you better not be trying to walk next to your friend, but you can be you can have four people across on these super wide lanes. And of course, like the squirrels and stuff have lots of room to go. Nowhere for cyclists to use, except we're supposed to use this spot right here. That's officially where we're supposed to go. It's hilarious. Uh, but yeah, once again, zero pedestrians, zero cyclists on the road. And like you could totally, walk from your house to something down there, but they're not. Nobody is. That is so sad. See if Terthui Drive is just as bad. Terthui at Eglinton, tons of pedestrian activity with very little space, and I guess it's just because of the bus stops. It's like people just get plunked down by the bus, go from one bus to another to do a bit of shopping on the corner or whatever. And meanwhile, this is the road, it's got like a few drivers on it. And meanwhile, you better not need more space than this if you're walking. And you better be up for, being behind this person and in front of this person here, like, or whoever is going to come in behind you if you're cycling. It's crazy because there's so much space on these curb lanes for cycling, but you just end up pulling over, getting on the sidewalk, and standing around while a wave of traffic passes, and then you get back on the road. There's nobody there, but you have limited time to use the road before the next wave comes. So even though drivers are not filling up the road, it's got tons of extra capacity, that doesn't mean anybody else can use it. Cyclists can't use it, joggers can't use it. And these like poor people have like this much space to use because we need all of this or something. It makes no sense. It makes sense if you're trying to prevent people from not driving.